Video showing Sean Diddy Combs kicking and dragging a former girlfriend will be allowed at his trial. That ruling from a judge in his sex trafficking and racketeering trial. The defense argues the video, which was first obtained by CNN, had been manipulated, but CNN denies that. Jury selection is scheduled to begin May 5th. Combs is accused of running a so-called criminal enterprise that allowed him to abuse victims for years. He has denied all the charges and has pleaded not guilty.
Yo, I would like to welcome you back to Mo Talk with Sports and Mo. Don't forget 3 things: to like, subscribe, and also share today's topic. Let's get right to it. Sean Diddy Combs reject plea deal ahead of sex trafficking trial. This is big, people. Plea deal, I'm more than sure, would have reduced some of the time that Sean Diddy Combs is looking at, and he has rejected it, which makes me believe 2 things. Either 1, Sean is slow, or Sean have high joker. Fade players, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If Sean has an high joker, going to implicate a whole lot of people. Same thing that everybody's already been saying for the longest. Look, Jeffrey Epstein mysteriously ended up dead, and they claimed that it was suicide. That saved a whole lot of big names for being implicated on Epstein Island. Sean Diddy Love Combs is the black version Epstein. This brother has a lot of information. One of my favorite movies was New Jack City. One of my favorite scenes was when they were in court. Nino said, yo, if I'm going down, I'm going to take a whole lot of other people down with me. That brother got up there and started singing like a canary bird. Although he was lying about things that he said, he did that for what reason? To help himself. Don't nobody want to spend all their life in jail. Nobody, right? And anybody that is facing the amount of time that Sean Diddy Combs is facing, they're going to do whatever they can to help themselves. So Sean Diddy Combs has to, in his mind, got to be believing that he's going to beat this some kind of way. He's going to walk some kind of way. Or I'm rejecting your deal because what I got is so great. What you offering me, it ain't enough. Let's get into this article here. Sean Diddy Combs rejects plea deal ahead of sex trafficking trial. Sean Diddy Combs on Thursday formally rejected the government's offer to plead guilty and spare himself the possibility of prolonged prison sentence. And at the age Sean Diddy is, he 55, it's right there. Man, this dude is looking at maybe spending the rest of his life in prison, and he rejected whatever it is that the government gave him. He said, yes, I do, Your Honor, Combs said after Judge Arun Subramanian asked him whether he rejected the offer federal prosecutors made. Combs, 55, is scheduled to stand trial beginning Monday with jury selection on charges of racketeering, conspiring, sex trafficking, and prostitution that allege he coerced women into prolonged sexual encounters he called freak-offs. We've been hearing so much about this, and I can just imagine what the prosecutors, what type of evidence they have. I know they probably have a string of people that is going to testify against Sean Combs. So for the life of me, I cannot understand how and why he rejected the offer, because in my mind, Sean Diddy Combs is cooked, right? I mean, that's how it look. It don't look like, Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, What is it that he feel like he have, that he had the balls to tell the judge that he is rejecting whatever it is that they offer him? Maybe they didn't offer him a whole lot. I don't know. Maybe he felt like their offer was too weak. Maybe he felt like that, well, what you offering me, I might as well just pull the whole thing. I've been there. I've seen this here before, right? I've seen cats come in and they got offset on parole so long to the point to where it got to a point where it was like it didn't even make sense for them to be granted parole, because now, I might as well go on and do the rest of this sentence and get out and be done with this whole thing than to accept the parole now that you giving me. You done set me off so long that I might as well just do the whole time. Maybe that's how he looked at it, that you ain't offering me nothing. Or like I said, maybe Sean Diddy Combs got something up his pocket. Maybe he got something on somebody that's going blow a whistle and be like, yo, to start offsetting some of these charges. Maybe Sean saying in his mind, yo, y'all gonna have to let me up out this thing. I don't know. This is just strange to me. Because when you look at the situation of what Diddy is going through, Diddy is cooked. This says Maureen Comey, an assistant United States attorney, said a guilty plea would have reduced the amount of prison time Combs would be exposed to compared to a trial conviction on all counts, which could result in what is effectively a life sentence. And that's true. That's why they offer you plea deals. They offer you plea deals. They don't want to spend, the states don't want to spend the money to go to court. They call it cranking it up here in Texas. At least that's what they used to call it. They do not want to spend the money, and be done with it. I'm kind of proud of Sean on this aspect, right? Let me make this clear, perfectly clear. Combs, not a fan of him now, but if more people stood by this, more people to see they time in court and let the due process play out the way that it's supposed to play out, right? But it's like, we gonna see this thing through. That's what we gonna do. We gonna see this thing through. We not gonna play no games. I'm not gonna play no games. And if life is what it is that you guys is gonna give me, then life, that's what it be. This article goes on to say, Combs came to court in a beige jail uniform. He smiled and hugged his attorneys, gave a fist bump to one of them, which was Tini Gallegos. Gallegos raised concerns during a brief conference about statements Los Angeles-based attorney Lisa Bloom, who represents at least two of Combs' civil accusers, made about the case to a documentary. We're concerned with her behavior here. It's strange that you got one of the prosecuting attorneys, right, in a documentary before the trial. This is what's crazy to me about today's time, is how we could have a whole trial before the real trial and the conviction. I don't know, man. But Subramanian said he would remind all counsel and witnesses to adhere to rules of professional conduct and court rules about potentially prejudicial statements that could infringe on Combs' right to a fair trial. And hey, this is where the brother might get off. Right? Because you got to play the game fair. Game got to be played fair. And a lot of people don't understand what what judges are. Judges are nothing more than referees in the courtroom. Listen to what they call it: courtroom, basketball court, tennis court, right? This is a game. That's all this is. This is a game. Okay. And the judges are there to make sure that defense and prosecution play right. And if either one of them get out of line, there will be a foul call. Okay. And there may be a foul call, and Sean just might walk away from this thing altogether. With everything that we done seen in the media, they got documentaries, and now we learning that one of the counsels is in a documentary talking, and they ain't even with the court yet. If he loses and get convicted and get sentenced to life, you best believe that an appeal is going to come, and what comes up in that appeal, we may not know, and Sean may walk away from this thing scot-free. Trafficking indictment originally filed in September and followed by multiple superseding indictments that accuses Combs of being the ringleader of a criminal enterprise. Sound like Nino Brown, don't it? That allowed him to sexually, physically, emotionally, and verbally abuse his victim for years. He has denied all allegations and has pleaded not guilty to the charges of racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He pleaded not guilty in March to superseding indictments that charged him with forcing one of his employees into sex acts. Jury selection in the trial scheduled to begin on May 5 with opening statements planned for May 12. Federal prosecutors said that they have as many as 20 potential witnesses aside from the three main alleged victims who could testify about Combs' conduct. The racketeering conspiracy charges carries a maximum sentence of life in prison if convicted. The sex trafficking charge carried a mandatory minimum of 15 years in prison and as much as life in sentence. And this is the thing about courts coming to you asking you for a plea is that sometimes their case don't be as strong as you think that it is, right? And they want to make sure that they get their guy any kind of way that they can. And they'll come to you with all of the scare tactics and things like this, sure. But Sean is not an ordinary guy. He got resources, right? And when you got resources, you can fight back better than you can with normal people like myself. So we're going to keep an eye on this. I believe, this is just my opinion, Sean Diddy Love Combs is guilty. Whatever the hell it is that they say that he is done, I do. Just because I believe it, that don't mean that this dude is not going to walk. So he rejected the deal. He said he willing to crank it up. We're going to keep our eyes open on this thing, and we're going to see. Till next time, here's your shoe. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it. Was he being foolish? Do you think that Sean Diddy Love Combs got a high joker and he ready to bust them upside their head with it? All right. Till next time.